we knew a lot in sleep medicine, but we had no idea what the airway dentistry folks knew. We also didn't know what the functional medicine folks knew. So when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, well, how can I prevent these patients from bouncing all over the place, getting mixed messages, and come together with one unified goal? That goal being that sleep is the hub of health, right? And you can eat well, you can exercise well, but if you're not sleeping well, eventually you're going to get sick and you're going to have a lot of health issues.
Welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm Ravi, your host. Together, we'll slow down, breathe, and explore grounded fatherhood with greater peace and presence. I'm grateful you're here. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Peaceful Pop-Up Podcast. I'm your host, Ravi Rothenberg, and today I have sitting in front of me the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Wertz.
Thank you, Ravi, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, really grateful for our connection, for you being such a yes to showing up in conversation, sharing some of your story, some of your medicine for the benefit of the listeners and beyond.
Of course, anything I can do to help.
Yeah. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really well.
Yeah,
I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here and help support the cause. I really love what you're doing for a lot of different reasons. So thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm so curious. What am I doing?
For me, when I look into what you're doing, you're really opening up a container for us fathers to be able to share. And that's easier said than done.
Yeah. And
so a lot of times as a male figure growing up in the generation that we've grown up, it was at least in my case, fathers, it's work, right? Yeah. There wasn't that vulnerability. There wasn't that connection. Yeah. And what you're bringing to the table for the audience and for the viewers out there is really something beautiful that a lot of people aren't doing. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thanks for reflecting that. I'm happy to receive.
Yeah.
Can use all the encouragement I can to keep going.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, cool. For the listeners, I'd love them to get a sense of who you are as an individual. I'm sure you have an impressive LinkedIn bio, and it's on your website, on the Rebis Health website. I was impressed with just how robust it was. And while I could regurgitate some of that information, what we're going to do here is play a short game, give the listeners a chance to meet you on 3 different levels in this present moment. Are you open for a game?
I love games, Ravi. Let's do it.
Good. Cool. So the game is called Head, Heart, Hara. Okay. You have a chance to speak from your head. I'm going to ask you to somatically place your hand on the forehead when you're speaking from that place. And you have a chance to share just the facts. Where you're from, what you do, maybe a little bit about your family, as much detail as you'd like. But give us just a chance to meet the heady version of you. Okay. From there, once we've honored the head, we'll have a chance to descend down into the heart space. This rare opportunity to share vulnerably some of the feelings that are alive in you right now. And again, hand on the heart, I feel excited. I feel scared. I feel whatever's really alive for you. And then once we've honored those 2 parts, we can drop down into the hara, just under the belly. This is really like our energetic center. And from the hara, we speak from I want. What do you want for yourself, for your family, for humanity, for your business, whatever is really alive for you from a place of at the core of my being. This is what I want. So not a place that we spend a lot of time in, but what I've found in my journey is that when I can really honor head and heart and get down into the core of my being and allow truth to come through, and if I can actually listen to that, it can be a really strong compass for how I want to live my life.
100%.
So, yeah, no pressure.
Yeah.
But when you're ready, we'll go hand on the head and let us know some of the facts.
My name is Adam Wertz. I am a father. I am a husband. I have 3 beautiful children that are 11, 8, and 5. I am the CEO and founder of Rebis Health, which is an integrative multidisciplinary sleep wellness center that is united in bringing together sleep medicine, airway dentistry, and functional medicine to help people heal and thrive.
Brilliant.
That's
integrate. I'm excited to learn more about your unique approach to wellness.
Yeah.
We'll pause on that for now and go in a little deeper in a moment. Okay. Honoring the head. Let's drop down into the chest and the heart space. What's alive for you? What are you feeling?
For me today, what's alive is I am loved. I am loved. I love my family. I love my kids. And I am here to create a legacy of love and to break the chains and conditioning that have been passed down from me, from ancestor to ancestor.
Beautiful. Yeah, breath for that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Legacy of love. That is, we'll double tap on that in a moment too. That is a strong feeling state to be dwelling in.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of meeting 2 of your kids about a week ago, and wow.
That was such an amazing experience.
Wasn't that cool?
Yes. I felt so privileged as a father to have them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, was not envious, but I was like celebrating that they were there for you.
Yeah.
That they could be in like that type of a space, the energy, the celebration, the gratitude, the presence, like, and like having them be so involved in it. They're not just some like outsiders sitting in the corner.
I know, it was so wild, right? They were so in tune with just being present in the moment. I felt I was blown away.
Yeah.
It brought me tears like post that event.
Wow.
Like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back into this too, but I'm curious the ripples that it had once you were home and like what they were feeling, or if they were like, oh, that was just like a cool night. No big deal.
Yeah.
Or if it was like, wow, that was really something.
Totally.
Yeah. Beautiful. Legacy of love. We'll honor that space. And then breathe down into the belly, just below the belly button, the hara. If you want to speak from, what do you want? It's lifetime.
Oh, what do I want? I want peace. I want to create a space for children to heal. I want to pave a way of connection and love and healing, not only for ourselves, but for our kids. And what I know and what I can control is just what I do with my children every day, with the hope that they will pass those on to the next generation and we will become a more unified, connected society.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's everything.
That's all I want.
That's it.
Can we just do that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's figure that out today.
You're doing it.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, a breath for that. I want to honor your head, your heart, and your hara. I think, again, the alignment of who you are and how you are really inspired me to have you on the show and go a few layers deeper to understand, too, like how you got to this place, what you're doing on a day-to-day to continue to cultivate this legacy of love and peace and healing for children and families. And just grateful for the path that you've walked to get here.
Yeah, I'm grateful that our lives have crossed too. So thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that's a wrap on the show. I think we can just call it there.
That was good. We're good.
That's all we need, really.
Yeah, let's go for a hike.
Adam, you're doing some really inspiring work. We'll go head, heart, hara
Do it.
as we explore this conversation. When you were sharing a bit about Rebis Health, the company that you founded and that you're the chief operator of, you said integrated, multidisciplinary. There was a lot of words. I want you to say the words again, but really slow so I can feel them and better understand what it is that you're doing through your work.
Yeah, it is an integrative, multidisciplinary sleep wellness center.
Sleep Wellness Center. Now, for the dad who's listening, who's like, oh, sleep, that's not a thing that I've had. I mean, if you have little kids, I think that's one of my gripes about just the narrative of like, oh, you're pregnant, or oh, you just had kids, oh, you haven't slept in years, or like, that's just an assumption about what it's like to be a parent with young kids. And there's some truth to that. Sleep is certainly disrupted. But talk me through your unique approach to sleep and wellness.
I think for me, if we go back in time, I would say that Rebis is my second iteration into the sleep space, right? I was previously co-founder of a company called the Colorado Sleep Institute. And what I had learned through that experience was that the healthcare system is completely siloed and fragmented. And not only is the healthcare system siloed and fragmented, even within the own specialty of sleep medicine, it's siloed and fragmented. And for me, it was very clear that the people that were doing the clinic work, the physicians, the people that were doing the diagnostic testing, and the folks that were doing the treatments were not collaborating at all. It was creating disconnect. And so the first phase of this was to bring those disciplines and those different features of medicine together to create collaboration. The problem was that how the healthcare system is currently set up is just very simple black box algorithm. Okay, Ravi, you come in, we're going to diagnose you and label you with X, let's just say sleep apnea. And then we're going to say, you have this symptom, and now we're going to give you Y. No one is asking the question, why does Ravi have sleep apnea? What is the root cause of this? And not only what is the root cause, what are the other comorbidities and health issues that are tied to this sleep problem? So for me, and with Rebis, it was really important to get back to the root cause and also eliminate the silos and the fragmentation. So what we have now done is we've brought together disciplines from across multiple different specialties into one location so we all can learn from each other. I always say to myself, I don't know what I don't know. And for me, we knew a lot in sleep medicine, but we had no idea what the airway dentistry folks knew. We also didn't know what the functional medicine folks knew. So when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, well, how can I prevent these patients from bouncing all over the place, getting mixed messages, and come together with one unified goal? That goal being that sleep is the hub of health, right? And you can eat well, you can exercise well, but if you're not sleeping well, eventually you're going to get sick and you're going to have a lot of health issues. So for me, all of our folks are coming in with some type of inadequacy regarding sleep. And so what we were looking at is like, okay, how do we optimize your sleep? But then what's going on with all these other things? What's going on with your metabolic? What's going on with your immune system? Like all of these different factors. So once we get the sleep under control, then we can actually start to, okay, now we're going to layer in the functional medicine techniques. Now we're actually going to look at form and function through airway dentistry and see anatomically what is going on that may be impacting your breathing. Instead of just saying, oh, hey, you have sleep apnea. I want to know why. Because if I know why, then we can actually create personalized treatment plans to actually help the individual and like actually permanently change the course of their health. So that's the difference of where we're at today versus where I was in the space I was working in, for the last 15, 20 years. And it's one of those things where I've learned so much from these other fields that we've been able to incorporate into what we do, specifically with like kids, right? Like this is the part that really like hits me hard. We have an opportunity with our children to change the trajectory of their health and well-being, not only as parents and like how we interact with them and how we parent, but actually as parents and being present enough to have the awareness of what is going on with their health. Why is my child acting this way? And being able to sit with that and realize that maybe what's happening isn't normal. So that's the future, and that's where we're at today. And that's the why.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, my dad's been on a sleep apnea journey. He's had the mask for years, and I'm sure no one has sat down and been like, what's going on
right
beyond this?
They just don't.
Totally. And
and we didn't,
Yeah,
totally.
Like you said too, it has to start with the awareness piece of like, okay, let's from that place of awareness start getting more curious, right? But if you're just kind of shuffling through patients and just trying to, it's a big system. So it sounds like you're slowing down enough. You're bringing things in house, and like there's this whole care team. It sounds like
yes.
that is really dedicated to your wellness. Sleep is, again, like you said, it's the foundation of like health and well-being. Any tips or just what you're learning from your decades of experience in the field that to the listener who's maybe having sleep issues? Are there things in our environments, in the way that we are setting up our bedrooms or our homes, or just our rituals or routines before sleep time? Anything that's top of mind for you that you'd love to impart?
Oh, that's such a loaded question.
Totally.
Right? We could sit here for days and talk about that, but let me try to break it down very simply. For the adults, and this applies for kids also now, is I want to break this down into environmental factors, and I want to break it down into nervous system, right?
My man.
Yeah. And so like from an environmental standpoint, as a society, we keep presenting ourselves and injecting ourselves with media, screens, blue light, all of these things, right? So from an environmental standpoint and from a behavioral standpoint, the very easiest thing to do is to keep it really simple.
Yeah.
Wake up at the same time every day.
Yeah.
Try to go to bed at the same time every night. And when you can't, that's fine. Still wake up at the same time. Wake up, go out, watch the sunrise, get light exposure in your eyes, start your day. Before bed, create a bedtime routine, right? As parents, we all create bedtime routines for our kids. Yeah. Like there is a routine. It's like, okay, we're gonna give you a bath. We're going to read a book. Now we're going to put you to bed. Yeah. That is very calming. That is a relaxing routine. Yeah. However, as adults, what we see is, okay, no, I'm going to work. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to read a book on phone. Yeah. I'm going to watch TV. Yeah. And all of that is activating our nervous system or not allowing our nervous system to come back down, which then creates issues with insomnia and stress and all of these things. So the routine is very important for adults, and so for things to look at, but that's just the routine thing. Like that's what we can do for our behaviors. Yeah. From a nervous system standpoint, it's how do we get to a place where we can check in and recognize that we're dysregulated? And that's a bigger topic and a bigger conversation. Yeah. But the first thing first is like, okay, what can I do? What relaxes me? What brings me down? And how can I work that into my evening routine? Yeah. And how can I shut off when I get home? Because this wasn't part of my upbringing, I am very diligent and I do my best. I'm not 100% at this, and nor am I the best father or the best sleep person in the world. But like, as soon as I get home, I try to shut it down. Like the phone's away. I am not watching TV. I'm trying to be present with my kids. And I try to create a wind down routine for myself, right? To give myself the best opportunity to fall asleep. Yeah. I'm a very stressed individual, just as we all are, right? And so I have to do those things. And so those are the things that I really would like everyone to kind of just think about. But the sunlight exposure in the morning and waking up at the same time is very important. Like research has now shown that actually what's more important is a regular sleep schedule versus duration, right? So for example, if you are, let's say that you're sleeping from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. during the week. Yeah. So that's your week schedule.
6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. Sorry. And then and then on the weekends, you're like, you know what? I'm going to sleep in until 8 and I'm going to go to bed at midnight. And so now what you've done is you've created a shift work schedule in your life. Yeah. That irregularity is actually been shown to be more detrimental to health than actually getting a smaller amount of sleep and being consistent. So the light is key. The routine is key. Yeah. But the other thing is we want to make sure that we also recognize like if I'm doing those things and I'm not sleeping well, is there an underlying sleep disorder that might be there that we need to look at?
Yeah.
And in children, there's a lot of things we want to be able to recognize. Our kids are right now extremely hyperactive. We have this massive increase in ADHD prescriptions. Collectively.
Totally.
Like I didn't realize how big of an issue this was until my kids became the ages that they are.
Yeah.
And I started talking to other parents, and the constant conversations were two things. They're giving their kids melatonin to sleep. Mm-hmm. Question is why? Why are you giving a child melatonin to sleep? And then the other thing is, okay, yeah, my kid just got diagnosed with ADHD. The number of kids and the prevalence of people getting diagnosed with ADHD is wild. So I start asking myself this question. I was like, why is this happening? Why are these kids getting diagnosed with ADHD and put on these medications? Yeah. And one of the reasons, the vast majority of why these kids are getting put on ADHD medications is because they're not sleeping well. Yeah. Right? And same thing, like they could be having the same environmental factors that are affecting adults, but they also our faces are shrinking. And because our faces are shrinking, the kids are having what we would call sleep disordered breathing, but it's so more subtle than an adult. Adults like, oh, someone's snoring and like they're loud and like they're tired. In kids, it could be something as simple as your mouth breathing, your teeth are crowded, you have bags under your eyes. And as a result, in kids, it's totally different. That tends to present itself as hyperactivity, inability to concentrate. Yeah. So those are the things that we're seeing in children. And we now have a way to be able to completely reverse this. So that's where we're at today. Those are just a little tidbits and some symptoms and signs to look for of how to do things. And it sounds very simple, but it's actually harder than you think to keep a regular schedule, especially with kids, right? Totally. I mean, it's hard. So, but very simple things to be diligent about.
Yeah, there was a few that stuck out for me in that share. The regularity, I think, as a parent with two young kids, I'll often joke like, oh, Saturday's coming around. It's like, I'm going to sleep in.
Right.
Which I guess grateful to my kids for waking up so early regularly. So yeah, 6:30 for me is like sleeping in.
Right.
So even if I wanted to lay in bed until 8, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But I do find myself at night, especially if like you said, all the routine and the intention of getting the little ones down, and then I need to give myself that same grace.
Right.
And let my nervous system come down. I think, like you were saying, the moment you get home is where your wind down process starts.
Yes, that's where it should start.
Right. And that's like, let's say you get home, if you're so lucky, you get home at 5:00. Now you have maybe 5 hours to be in wind down.
Right.
And it might take that long.
Totally.
Especially if the day just really has you wired up.
100%.
So yeah, I think that's the importance too of getting familiar with the nervous system. As adults in our homes, it's on us to co-regulate with our children if they are dysregulated.
Right.
That is like the number one way that we can help them come down and be in a more relaxed and wound down state for preparing for sleep.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that it's like actually one of our guiding principles at our company is like an energy attracts like energy. Right. And so not only is that the case when you're hiring or you're trying to create a culture, it's also the case at home. Yeah. Right. That is, if you can be grounded and you can be present, and the kids feel that energetically, and they will tune into that, and it will make your life way easier. Right. But if you're operating out of fear and control, that creates this energetic friction that makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. How'd you get into sleep? What was it on your path that got you into the sleep space?
That's a really good question. I was called into it. Yeah. And I know that now, looking back on it, but I, just like most people, I went to college here at CU. I went to school I was a biology major. I was pre-med, minored in business. I wanted to become a doctor. And looking back on it now, I didn't really want to be a doctor. I really wanted to impress my dad. Like I wanted attention. I wanted someone, I wanted recognition.
Yeah.
But I did love health, right? I loved health. I loved science. But what happened is when I was doing my internships and my rotations with the orthopedic surgeons I was working with, they kept saying to me, Adam, you don't want to do this. You don't want to go into medicine. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is a bummer. This is what I've planned my entire life to do. Yeah. But also taking a step back and listening to someone that knew something that I didn't know. And then I went to a professor that I spoke to frequently at the time. And he was like, hey, Adam, this professor came over from Harvard. He's starting the sleep and chronobiology laboratory at CU. He needs research assistants. He needs people to help him start this. And I was like, oh, sleep, that sounds interesting. Never really thought about that. I have no idea what I'm even getting into. So I started working with Dr. Kenneth Wright as an undergrad. And I was like, wow, the sleep thing's really fascinating. The research piece is really fascinating. I'm learning a lot. It's like the first time I'm like really learning skills, right, from him. And he was an amazing mentor for me. So from that standpoint, I went in from undergrad and I continued doing research with him for like 5 to 6 years after I graduated. Wow. And so that's how I got into the field of sleep in general. But the real story, and looking back on it, it's like I was just called to get into it. But the real story of like why I'm in it now and why this airway dentistry piece is being called into me, like when I look back, I'm like, why am I in the role that I'm in, right? Like, how am I getting pulled into this? And when I was in 4th grade, I was playing with my neighbor, and as boys do, we were like, hey, let's have a water balloon fight, right? And so we blew up a bunch of water balloons, and I threw a water balloon at his older brother. His brother was 18 years old. Not a happy guy. Tackles me to the ground, pins my head against the concrete, punches me in the mouth. Holy shit. Shatters my palate. What? Knocks out all my teeth. And from that point forward, I just had to deal with all this teeth stuff. Wow. Right. And because my palate was shattered, I they had to like take teeth out to make room in my mouth to like get my teeth fixed. Right. And so what I've realized though now, coming full circle with that, is like, oh my God, like that was the universe trying to tell me the way to truly heal sleep and getting back to form and function of why these people have sleep apnea. It's all in the mouth. It's all in dentistry. And then all of a sudden this airway dentistry piece comes into my life. And I'm like, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to integrate these people together so that we can actually recognize and understand the reason why people are having all these breathing issues is because our faces are shrinking. But there's a way to expand them back out. And like just a quick fun fact is pre-industrial revolution, the distance between the intramolar distance, the distance between our molars was anywhere between 50 and 55 millimeters. Just imagine the number 50, right? Now, modern day, what we're seeing in people in just about 200 years is that the distance is now around 30. So our faces have shrunk almost in half wow. in that short amount of time. This isn't evolution. This is environmental factors, right? As a result of processed foods, people don't breastfeed as much as they used to. And so kids, our palates aren't expanding. And as a result, our palates go from this to tinted, which then pushes up on our nose, which then prevents us from breathing through our nose, which then causes mouth breathing. And then the tongue falls back, and now we have sleep apnea and the whole thing. But this is happening in adults and in children. So it was that event that happened to me when I was in 4th grade is actually the event of why I'm actually in this field right now. I had to go through that trauma and experience that to recognize the need for bringing these multiple disciplines together. Yeah.
Damn.
I love the dentist, by the way, as you can imagine.
I imagine you almost became a dentist. Or
I know. Yeah. It was brutal.
I broke a lot of bones as a kid. In total, I think upwards of 12.
Wow.
Like a lot. And then I was like, And after spending so much time in hospitals and with orthopedic surgeons, I was like, maybe I become an orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
Actually, for a while, I wanted to be an anesthesiologist.
Right.
Because I'd spent a lot of time with these guys.
You're like, these guys are cool. They're keeping me alive.
They like keep me alive. They put me to sleep in a really gentle way. And it ultimately wasn't my path. But yeah, I love that you were able to connect that trauma, which sounds really intense, to the meaning and the message of what you're committed to now.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your dad. There was a moment where you shared that you wanted to impress your dad by becoming a doctor. And then also in my head, when you share that like you're 9 years old and you get your whole face smashed in, what was your dad's reaction to that event, and just kind of what was he like as a person?
I would say the one thing that I loved about my father is that he was very calm and he could stay grounded even during difficult situations. At least that was my impression, right? The downside to my father was that he was never around. And, from a very young age, my parents got divorced when I was really young. So I was in elementary school. And my parents sat me down and my sister down. And the conversation was like, who do you guys want to live with? And my sister was like, I'm going to go with mom. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay with dad. And then they totally my mom went back to California, and I grew up in Cincinnati, middle school and high school. And my dad was just a workaholic, right? And I felt like he felt that his responsibility in life was to work and to make money. We've talked about this a little bit, but he was never really present. And even when he was home, he wasn't present. He was working. And so, from the time that I was in elementary school, my dad would take me to the grocery store on Sunday. We would buy groceries. He'd fly out of town. He'd leave me there until Thursday, and he'd come back Thursday night. So I basically raised myself from the time that I was in like 5th grade all the way through high school. And so it's really important for me when I look at the chains that I'm trying to break as a parent. This is why it's so important for me to be present when I get home from work, right? It's like, if I can't get it done, you never get all your work done. It's impossible. So you have to recognize that. So it's like, okay, what is the most important things I need to get done in the 8 hours that I'm there working? And then everything else can wait till the next day. And sometimes there's things that can't wait. But the reality is that how can I spend that time with my kids? Because I never had that time. And just being present is like really winning. Right. As a father. So it was difficult, but that upbringing for me, as hard as it was, really helped me out from a founder and a CEO standpoint. Like, because I had to figure everything out on my own. And through that process, I also realized that, man, I can accomplish everything. Even through this hardship and not having the connection, I actually can get things done. I can figure this out. There's always a way. Even with all the trauma and the hardship, it's like, there's a way. I can do that. So it helped, but it was really hard. Really hard growing up.
It's like your drive to survive for a lot of years too. Like in my head, I'm like, was there a nanny or like a housekeeper or someone, neighbors, or were you mostly just like school and then home and with yourself? School, home, with myself. There was one time, when that happens and you're, abandoned by your parents in both situations, you become a very like angry kid. Right. I was really hurting inside. And I know that, what I know now from my upbringing is like hurt people. Right. And so there was a time that, and luckily, like I played a lot of sports. I was popular. I had good friends. But there was a time where I got called into the principal's office, and I knew what it was about. I'm like, because at this point I was having parties at the house. I was doing whatever you want. Whatever. Right. Like, great. That's not here. Like, who cares?
So it got to a place where as I got older, they were like, oh, this isn't really good for the school's reputation and the football program and these things. So I get called in the principal's office and they just immediately started asking me questions like, hey, like, how often is your dad around? Like,
wow.
you know, is he here? Like, what's your relationship with your father and all these things? And I remember sitting there and I'm like, oh, I can either be truthful and get put into a foster home and be taken away.
Wow.
Or I can lie. And I made the decision to lie.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he's here all the time. All the time. Like, yeah, like maybe he drives an hour to work or so, but he's here.
Yeah.
It's like no big deal.
Yeah.
And with that, they just let it go.
Wow.
Even though they knew
yeah.
that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But you know, I would at that time would rather have been in the situation that I was in than put into some unknown environment with people I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that was the decision I made.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because I don't think of that really as this really bad thing. But then you go to therapy and you bring these things up like, wait, what? You were like left? And I'm like, yeah, I guess that wasn't really normal, right? But you don't really know what is normal.
Yeah.
Like your normal is normal. So yeah.
Yeah, wow. Well, and I think, again, it's what you're a stand for now is your legacy of love and presence, because ultimately you grew up with a lack of love and presence.
Yeah.
So in a way, what a gift to then be able to have that perspective and to have that mean so much so that you can give that to your family.
Yeah. And, you know, and I had to close that chapter with my dad. It was really hard because, as you can imagine, I was so angry. Like, even as I went into college, I didn't want to talk to him. I was just constantly like, I don't want you to call me. I don't want to talk to you.
Wow.
And, you know, my dad was in the military and he was always really active. And one day he got on his bike, rode his bike out of the driveway, collapsed and died right there on the road.
No way.
And so the thing that was really hard for me was, oh my God, I never got to say bye to my dad. I never got to say, I'm sorry. We never got to rekindle that. To have someone pass and to be angry was really hard on me. And it took me a really long time to be able to heal that. And it wasn't until I got into doing my own personal journey and medicine work that I was able to close that chapter with him. And I have this really beautiful story. I'd love to share it if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's do it.
There was something in me that there was a woman I was working with, and we were doing some medicine work, and we were up in the mountains, and she was like, at one point in the journey, she's like, Adam, I think you need to walk outside. And I was like, I'm not going outside. Like, there was something totally resisting inside me to want to go outside. And then she looks at me and she's like, well, when you're ready, I think you need to go outside. And I'm like, oh, okay. So after about 5-10 minutes, I pick up the courage. I walk outside into the woods. I put my back against this tree. And all of a sudden, I see all these spirits and all these people walking out in the distance. And I'm like, what is going on here? And all of a sudden they stop, and then out of the crowd walks my father. And he comes up to me, and we look at each other, and we just hug and embrace, and we say we're sorry for everything. And from that point on, I'd said to him, you're always welcome to come around. You're always welcome to see your grandkids. Wow. And that was how I was able to heal that relationship, because I was never able to say bye. Wow. And so it was a beautiful moment to be able to create a healing for a situation that we never had the chance to do while he was alive. So yeah, it was intense.
Whew.
So thank you.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you, medicine, for doing that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I'm curious, what specific medicine were you sitting with, just to give it like, if you remember.
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't even recall.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't even recall because it didn't even really matter.
Yeah.
And the result was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that moment where you're literally seeing spirit or entities or energies walking through the forest, and then your father's coming towards you, was it like a truly felt experience? Like,
it was, yeah, it was so real. It was so felt.
Wow.
You could feel it. And then the interesting thing that came up is as he started to walk away, it wasn't like a long experience. I would say it was maybe like 5 minutes, right? Which seems like an eternity.
Totally.
But then as he walked away, what I realized, like, oh my God, those were all of our ancestors on his side of the family.
Wow.
And I was able to heal that for all of these generations. And I was like, whoa, this was a really powerful moment. And the thing for me that would really seal the deal is as they all walked off into the distance, I always remember stories as a kid. My dad and his dad, my grandfather, used to come out to Colorado to go elk hunting all the time.
Yeah.
I never went. I was really young, but I remember hearing them talk about it. And as they all walked off into the distance, elk started bugling all around me. And I was like, no way. You can't even make this up. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Real elk in the...
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Real elk.
Wow.
Bugling.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, it was magical.
Wow.
It was so beautiful.
Those are those moments where like, you just can't even...
You can't make it up.
Yeah.
You're just like, there's a higher being.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We just have to succumb to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Phew.
Mm-hmm.
You've shared a little in our personal conversations about just some of your sensitivities and your clairsenses that are a bit online or that you've journeyed with over the years. And I think what you're sharing just with your upbringing and the solitude that you were in and just some of the challenges that you were facing and needing to survive. How do you honor those as a father? As a man who's both the steward of your home, leading a legacy of love, building an impactful business, but also there's this part of you that feels and sees and senses things maybe intensely. How do you dance with that?
Oh, that's a really good question, Ravi. For me, as I mentioned, I never had support. And so as a result of never having support, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have guidance. There was a lot of fear in like my gifts and what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to handle it, you know, and I think maybe I've shared this or not, but I used to really be able to, as a young age, really see spirits all the time. And when you don't have anyone to talk to about that and you don't know how to process that, eventually what happens is you shut it down.
Yeah.
So for me as a parent and as a father, my goal is like, how can I just encourage my kids to be their true self? Like I'm still trying to figure out, just as you are, like, what are our kids' gifts? What are they here for? What's their purpose? Right. Yeah. And so for me, it's just like, how can I just support that and be a guide and hopefully be there to answer questions for them when they want to ask them. So for me, that's the important piece, really, more than anything. Yeah.
So being available, being a guide, talking them through what they might be experiencing if those similar gifts are emerging.
Yeah. And you know, like by encouraging that, I've really been able to have them open up. They've been able to share that, like they'll say to me like, oh, Aunt Nina's in the room, or they'll be like, and then all of a sudden the lights will start flickering. And, you know, they're very in tune with their senses, and that's not really taught in school at all, which is a disservice. So for me, I want to encourage them to be able to use all their senses and to be able to feel their gifts. And all three of them are a little bit different. And so that's the important piece, and have them understand that it doesn't matter what people think of you. If you're in your true self, that's all that matters. And so that's easier said than done when you're dealing with kids and there's, bullying and all the things. But that's the important piece, is that just to try to be there to support that.
Wow. Yeah, it must be surreal to like witness them in their gifts and sensitivities, and to like not want to judge it or label it, but just to be with it.
Well, I think for me, it's like we get conditioned over time as we get older, right? Yeah. And I would love to believe that everyone is born with a certain skill set, like all these senses. However, you don't really know what to do with them when you're really that young. And so like the things that I try to promote is for them to talk about this. Like I like when they're having bad dreams, I literally like to try to go in and be like early in the morning before they really transition out and be like, what were you dreaming about? Yeah. What were these things, that you were screaming about? What was all this stuff? And get them to open up and talk about it. Yeah. And I like to ask them questions around like, what are you feeling right now? When you run into that person and you're like hesitant to talk to them, you'll see this, right? When your own children, like some people, they gravitate towards, some people, they're standoffish. It's like, what are you feeling? What are you feeling in this moment? Yeah. And like really get them to recognize how they're feeling and act on the behaviors. Kind of what you're saying is like, how do you do this heart connection, this heart mind connection? Not, oh, I'm going to talk to this person because this is the right thing to do for societal norms. Yeah. Oh, actually, like I don't feel safe. Yeah. There's something about this person's energy. And I'm like, and how do we embrace that as a parent and be like, you know what, if you don't want to say hi, that's okay. Yeah. Right. Like there's something here. Yeah. And you'll either warm up to it or you follow your instincts. Right. So creating those instincts and allowing those things to evolve is really important.
Yeah. Yeah. My daughter's just about to turn 3 and like, she's so energetically sensitive. Yeah. And so I'm really also, trying, like, you don't have to hug that person. Right. You don't have to high five them even. Like it's really, you can, because they're such fine-tuned instruments. And I think it's our job as dads, especially, is to like how to protect that and maintain that level of integrity within trusting themselves.
It's hard though, right? Yeah. Because like, I don't know about yourself, but like you're grown up, like you got to say hi, shake this person's hand, like do these things. And like, you're constantly pushed into doing things that you feel you shouldn't be doing, which is ruining your intuition. Yeah. So you have to go against our societal conditioning. And that's where the work that you're doing is really creating something beautiful. Yeah. Because as parents now in the generation that we're in, we're breaking the chains. We're doing something different. Yeah. And every day we have to be present enough to be able to do that. It's easy to fall back on the norms.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a cycle breaker and choosing to do life different than what was given to us, and being this intergenerational change agent, I think it requires a lot. And so I think it's more important than ever that we as men, as dads, are resourced on the inside so that we can continue to show up in that way.
100%. And also just giving ourselves grace. Yeah. Because we're not perfect. Yeah. I'm not perfect. I mess up every day. Right. And so it's just like, how can I just be better than my father was, my grandfather was? How can I become a better person? Yeah. Knowing that I'm going to make mistakes. It's okay. Yeah. And then admitting that to our kids. Totally. Like, I'm sorry, daddy made a mistake. Yeah. Like that was my fault. And recognizing that so they learn by your admission that, oh, just because dad did that doesn't mean that that's okay. Yeah. Right. And they don't carry it forward. Yeah. So even when you're making mistakes, take responsibility for them.
Totally. Yeah, that's definitely a theme. I'm going to shout out to Jason Gaddis again, the doctor of repair. And it's so important. What I've been learning is that we need to, as adults, like first repair within our relations with our spouse or our partner and model it there, practice it there. And then also, repair with our kids. Yeah. Which definitely is something I did not grow up with. And even I find myself, it's an awkward muscle to flex.
So hard.
I got to eat a big slice of humble pie and get down on their level. And they say, I'm sorry, and own the ways that I, acted in a way that I wasn't proud of.
Right. And even before repair, we have to awaken, right? We have to recognize the pattern. Yeah. in ourselves in order to even be able to repair. And I use these 3 words all the time, like awaken, empower, heal, right? And not only in my own life, but also in like how we go about our business on the healthcare side, right?
Yeah.
Like anyone who's coming in with an issue, they're being awake. They're awakening. They're recognizing that there's a problem and that they need help. Yeah. And then our role is, how do we empower them with information and objective information so they can make the correct decision to heal? It's the same thing on the personal healing journey, right? First thing is we have to recognize that there's actually even a problem. Yeah. And then we have to find the people and the mentors and the support to help us. Yeah. And this is a journey. You and I are on this lifelong journey. This isn't something that's going to get fixed in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Yeah. This is a lifelong journey. Yeah. But if we can focus on those 3 words, we can do things better.
Amen. Yeah, I think we're in that collective. Yeah, I mean, even astrologically, I won't go so much into that, but like the
new moon last night.
New moon, like they're really potent times right now.
Right.
And 2026 and 2027, the collective will continue to fall apart in, certain ways so that we can awaken to what's really, true as a society and as humans inhabiting this earth.
Right. Yeah. And that is like, that's going into the heart right there, right? Like that's, what do we want? Yeah. And a lot of times we don't really know what we want until we hit truly rock bottom. And I feel like all of us have had these experiences that have created an awakening, and they're usually life-changing rock bottom type experience for a lot of people, including myself. Yeah. And so when I really feel into what's happening as a society, you can feel it. Yeah. Like we're rock bottom's coming.
Totally.
And so the first wave of this was COVID. I mean, COVID was a beautiful experience in a lot of ways because it caused people to stop working, to stay home, and to reflect on what's going on with their lives. Yeah. And as a result of that, there was a massive percent of the population that had the awakening during COVID. Yeah. And there was a part that didn't. And so, however, things are still progressing from a societal standpoint. Yeah. People are losing jobs every single day. Yeah. Cost of living is going up dramatically. And something's going to occur that's going to create a societal rock bottom that hopefully will elicit this change to create connection again and to come from the love and the heart. Yeah. So it's scary. It's hard to know that something like that is coming, but we all have to remember we've all gotten through it at some point in our lives, and we'll get through it again as long as we come together and we collaborate as a group, as opposed to alienating each other and judging people. Like, let's come together and help each other out.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a vision that I can get behind. Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Right.
I'm curious, how do you, as the leader of your organization, and wanting to like bring people together, to awaken, to empower, to heal, to leave a legacy of love, how do you do leadership differently at Rebis Health and for the people that are looking to you for vision and guidance?
How I do it now is way different than how I used to do it, right? Yeah. So how I do it now is I lead with vulnerability. I do everything in my power to create an environment and a space where everyone can speak their voice, whether it's criticism of me, of a procedure. What I try to tell them is we all need to speak our voice, tell our truth, but do it in a respectful manner. I, as the CEO of the company, have to be grounded enough to be able to take whatever you throw at me. Yeah. And that's the reality, is like, I have to take the punches and know that I'm going to be able to get through this and to lead that way. So we do something where we all get together. I have something called a talk circle where we try to encourage everyone to come forward with their thoughts and their minds. I love to listen to what people have to say because I learn from everybody every day. Yeah. And then just creating a place of safety So for me, what I always try to say is there's three things that people need. They need to feel love, they need to be safe, and they need to feel heard.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to create. Love, safety, and heard. And if I can create that in the leadership group and throughout, and then it just manifests itself throughout the culture. And I'll tell you that there are times where I've cried in leadership meetings. We've had other team members cry in leadership meetings. Life is hard.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing is I'm also, in addition to hitting metrics and outcomes and goals and healing people, I'm also creating a family, like a family culture within our leadership team where we're all there to support each other. Do people fight? Yeah. People get in arguments? Yes. People cry? Yes. People love each other? Yes. But we all talk through it. That's the culture.
Wow.
So for me as a CEO, that's the most important thing that I can do, right? Yes, I have to have the vision. Yes, I have to do these things. But to me, it's bringing people together and creating connection from here. That's all that we have left.
Bold.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What are you finding too in terms of like loyalty, retention, outcomes?
It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, we've, gone through some really difficult times as a group, and coming together through these hard times allows us to persevere and know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like just for example, like just with this last government shutdown, we had multiple people on our team whose husbands were in the military and they just stopped getting paid overnight. So the amount of stress that they come to work with, oh my God, we can't pay our mortgage. Literally, we just lost half of our family income. Yeah. It's like, so how do we create an environment so they can speak to us about those things and provide support? Because a lot of times those things aren't even shared. Yeah. And then you become silent, and then there's animosity and there's hate and there's resentment. Yeah. So it's just like, let's just speak it. Let's speak our voice.
Now you've got these sleep wellness centers. They're physical spaces.
Yeah, we have physical spaces all over Colorado. Okay. So we see people in person and virtually. So we've got locations in Boulder, Longmont, Westminster, Parker, Frisco. Wow. And so we have a large network, but we also are able to see people virtually, people for geographic reasons can't make it in. So yeah.
And I imagine everybody's showing up with something like unique to their circumstances, but there's like, a menu of things that are diagnosable and treatable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone shows up with some sort of sleep complaint. Yeah. Right. But there's a unifying theme amongst all the sleep complaints. It's nervous system dysregulation, and then it's anatomical form and function. Yeah. And between those two things, everyone's is a little bit different. And so what you have to do is create treatment protocols and treatment divisions so that when someone comes in and we say, okay, Mrs. Smith, you have insomnia and you have this. Okay, well, according to these objective measures, we can offer you X, Y, and Z.
So yeah, Adam, just bringing it back to the work that you're doing in the world, meeting people with compassion. Ultimately, I think sleep is such a sensitive subject. And for those who might be experiencing insomnia or lifetimes with sleep struggles, to show up and be met with love, with empowerment, with the opportunity for healing. I just want to celebrate the work that you and your team are doing to make a difference in people's lives.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, at least for myself, like I'm a healer, right? Yeah. That's what I am. I'm here to help people heal. Yeah. You're doing the same thing in your way. And so that's my gift. That's what I'm here to provide. So if I can do that and I can help millions of people become more aware, man, then I've done my job as a parent and as a business owner.
Breathe that in. Yeah. Even just saying I'm a healer, that is such a stake in the ground of like, this is who I am and what I stand for.
Totally.
And for a lot of us too, I think it's rare. You are a rare combination of, business owner, father, and someone who can claim that archetype of healer.
It's interesting when I think about this. I always think of I always want to find balance, right? And I think too often we see people go to extremes,
Yeah.
whether it's in politics, whether it's in how we parent, whether it's in business. And we always want to latch on to something. And it's like, no, like, let's just try to find the middle ground.
Yeah.
How can we bring all these things together?
Yeah.
And if we focus on that, then everything works out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be an extremist functional medicine provider, right? I don't need to be an extremist sleep medicine provider. What I need to be is a healer to bring all these things together so everyone has access to all these things. And then through my learnings of what I do for a living, I can pass that on for my own kids' health and well-being, right? There's a massive opportunity here.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about. Even just yesterday, I went for a run. I came home and I was foam rolling because I know if I foam roll right after I exert myself that way, my recovery time just is like so much shorter.
Oh, you're such a better man than I am. The foam roll is like my,
yeah,
it's so hard.
Totally, because it's painful and it requires me to slow down a lot. But the amazing part is I have 2 foam rollers at home, and my 3-year-old went and grabbed my other one and was sitting directly in front of me, learning how to foam roll herself.
It's beautiful, right?
So she's going to know how to foam roll as a 3-year-old. I didn't know what foam rolling was until I was 33.
Right.
And so just, what we're learning about ourselves, being vulnerable, sharing our journeys, our medicine with our loved ones. We're just assembling bigger reservoirs of like knowledge and tools.
What I love about what you just said, and I think we just need to sit with what you just said for a moment, is she is doing as she sees. So I feel like a lot of times as parents, we feel that we have to speak all the time.
Yeah.
And we have to tell people what to do. The reality is, like, they're watching everything we do and they're picking up on everything we do. And so if we can just act in an appropriate manner, we don't even have to speak as much.
Yeah.
They will pick up on everything. Just because our species has speech.
Yeah.
Look at anything in biology. Look at how animals interact. The babies are just watching the parents. Yeah. Right. And if you look at bears, I mean, the baby bears and the cubs are just watching the parents. Yeah. And then, like, the parents will only get involved when they're in danger or they're about to do something. But otherwise, like, we're going to let this cub learn this and experience this so they remember it. If we can just look at nature and take those same patterns into how we parent, man, we would be so much better off.
Yeah. And speaking takes a lot of energy. I prefer just to keep quiet too and let my embodiment of being
100%
do the rest.
I know I talk too much as it is. It's like all day long, right? Yeah. And it's funny, this is what you're doing. You're in a podcast.
But trying to do it in a different way, I think in the course of an hour-long conversation, hopefully there are more pauses and fewer words and more breaths than in the average podcast out.
No, it is very calming to be here with you.
Yeah.
So thank you for creating the space.
Of course. Well, Adam, I've loved the journey that we've been on today. Any final thoughts or feels on your heart that you'd like to put into the space?
I would say we all should remember that we're not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. Let's just recognize how we can do better. If you are having issues with sleep or any of those things, please reach out to me. We're here to help. We can be a resource. You can find us online. Yeah. You can find us on social media, but we're here to help people, right? And everyone on my team is being trained and encouraged to come at things with a sense of empowerment. Our chief medical officer, Dr. Dave McCarty, has done an amazing job creating empowerment with our team, not telling people what to do, but to educate them and empower them to make their own decisions. So those would be my last words.
Love that. Yeah, I teach yoga a couple times a week, and I say yoga practice, not yoga perfect. And just echoing what you were sharing, that we are just here doing our best, and if we can be a little bit better every day, if we can get our sleep in and feel resourced, that's all there is.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, Adam, thank you so much for being here. And one last time for the folks that maybe are like, yeah, my sleep has been really compromised and I'd like to learn more. Rebis Health.
RebisHealth.org. You can find us at RebisHealth.org. All of our information is on there. Cool. You can also find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. But the website is, as you mentioned, loaded with information for people to just educate themselves. They can self-schedule online. You can just self-schedule right on our website. But if you have questions, that's always an option too. And we're happy to talk to everybody.
Cool. And everything Adam just mentioned is linked down in the show notes. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being here with us, and have a brilliant rest of your day. Thanks you, Adam.
Robbie. Appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Peaceful Papa Podcast. May the wisdom you found here ripple into your being, your family, your community, and the world at large. I look forward to being with you again soon. See you on the next episode.